All right, YouTube, what is up? Another day, another video. I have an interesting one today, a risky one. Good chances if people see this and don't like it, my life will be ruined. But I think it'll be funny. And I think on a deeper level, it does address some important issues. I mean, if you're not a retard, you might get something from it. You might come to understand where people like me are coming from when we complain about Indians in our country. Because, as much as I want to import 1 billion infinity Indians, I really do. There are things that someone has to question. But I felt I had to discuss the 10 reasons today. The 10 reasons India is number one. This is a no sarcasm, 100% honest, legitimate intellectual discussion on the benefits of importing infinity Indians into Australia. Because as we know, if you boil us all, we're all the same, fundamentally. For legal reasons, this is a joke. But I know you won't take it as that, so whatever. Okay, reason number one. Let's get straight into it. India is the most beautiful country. There is no trash in India. There is no air pollution in India whatsoever. India actually has the cleanest air on the planet. This is true. As a matter of fact, every other country on Earth, if you breathe the air in any other country on Earth, it's like smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. India, not true. India, no cigarettes. People do not die in the street in India, despite what you might have heard. This is fake news. There aren't a billion poor people who live on top of each other. And the River Ganges, the holy river of India, is the cleanest river on Earth. Photo unrelated. Lol. Absolutely. And our drawing on that, reason number two, India is the cleanest country with the cleanest people. In India, there is no need for soap, you see, because it's so clean. And this graph here just demonstrates that. You can see the word soap, how that came from Germanic languages and actually reached Indigenous Australians in the Northern Territory. And you'll see there with that little red line that the word actually skipped India. And the reason for that is because they don't need soap because it's so clean. And it has always been so clean. Country of India has always been the cleanest country ever. This is an indisputable fact. And they will absolutely keep your country clean when we import infinity of them. Reason three, Indians are the best drivers. Trust me, I have first-hand experience with Indian drivers. I love them. They're so good at driving and absolutely know what they're doing and are absolutely certainly competent, especially when driving trucks. They are certainly competent enough to drive on Australian roads. Yeah. Because, Indian roads are actually the safest in the world. It's so good that they don't follow the rules over there. Only 172,000 deaths per year on Indian roads. And, given that there's 1.5 billion Indians, which is basically like infinity Indians, it doesn't matter because when 172,000 as a percentage of infinity die, that's like 0%. So really their per capita death toll on Indian roads is like 0, which is way better than Australia. So obviously we should be giving them licenses. And, we do. Not legally, of course. Allegedly, illegitimately, many truck drivers may or may not come over to this country on visas, on their permanent visa, and they will allegedly, maybe or maybe not, get their license from a piss-take driving instructor because it is not regulated like it should be. And Indian roads are so safe. They're nothing like Australia's unsafe roads, which leads to accidents. It's actually Indian roads are so safe that they come over here and they have a hard time driving on our unsafe roads. So we really need to improve that in Australia. We really need to improve that. Reason number four, India is the smartest country, very smart. They have the greatest standard of education in the world, equal to Australia. As a matter of fact, Australia now recognizes Indian degrees as equal in value to that of an Australian degree. So if you're an Indian and you have a degree, that's as valuable as one over here. You can come over here to Australia and work on your degree. And that's fair because Australia, we have some of the highest quality universities in the world, but India, I mean, none of theirs are in the top 100. And if their degrees are of equal value, then they must be so smart to match us. And there definitely must not be any fake universities in India that are used entirely to game the education visa system. Allegedly. Look it up. Indian IQ is very, very, very very high at like 76 average IQ. But you know, Indians are actually very smart. The smartest Indians, they actually are so smart that they leave. Yeah, you know, we have a stereotype in Western nations that Indians are smarter than us Westerners, I'll call us. But actually, have you considered that maybe this is just brain drain? Have you considered that maybe out of the 1.5 billion infinity Indians, only the smartest ones get out? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they're not smarter on average than us Westerners. But hey, that is no bearing on them at all. None. Satire. Lol. Reason number 5, infinite economic growth. As we all know, the economy growing is all that matters. It is directly responsible for everything good that ever happens and has nothing to do with the reflection on politicians and how well or not well they're running the country. And we need to avoid a recession at all costs because a recession means that they probably won't get elected again. If we import 1 infinity Indians, our economy will certainly grow. And this is great. You know, in 2025, the March quarter, as you can see with the statistics on the right, the Australian economy grew by 0.2%. And because we grew in that March quarter, no recession. We avoided recession thanks to the wonderful infinity Indians that we import. You know, you import 750,000 Indians over 2 years. Oh, well, not just Indians, but total immigrants, a large portion of which are Indian. And thanks to that, we absolutely avoided recession. Yay. Kick the can down the road. This importation is certainly not responsible for the housing crisis because, as we all know, supply and demand is a myth. You know, if you just import 1 billion Indians and they need somewhere to live, but the housing market can't keep up. So everyone who owns a house, good on ya, because your house price just goes up and you make $1 billion thanks to infinity Indians. You should be so grateful. You should be so grateful to the Australian government for the infinity Indians and all the Indians that come over here. You should be so grateful for them. You should sell your house for a small profit and give all the money to the Indians that come over here because they gave you that profit. Because you see, as they demand more than there is supply, the price rises. It's simple supply and demand. But they'll deny this. The government will deny this. And Indian labor is cheaper than Oz labor. It's weird to think that because Indian salaries are so low over there, they're willing to come over here and work for a lower salary than Australians are. So they'll undercut Australians and then send money back to India instead of improving our own economy. But hey, that's not a reflection on Indians. That's a reflection on Australian policy. So yeah, take that as you will. Reason 6, India are the strongest army. They will destroy Pakistan. And India has the strongest men in the world. You see them in the gym, they lift the hardest, they grab the 1 kilogram weights, and they sit on the phone for half an hour. 1 million reps of answering the phone instead of, bicep curls or something. Reason number 7, India have best names, such as Glupsheet, Mudpreet, Poojit, Grumbleet, Dongmeet, and Brad Preet, as you can see on the right. Famous Bollywood actor, Brad Preet. Reason number 8, India no longer has a caste system. They are beyond racism. Constitutionally, they have outlawed the caste system. Dalits, the untouchables, are now equal to the Brahmin on high. And they definitely do not still use this system, and they definitely do not export this system internationally. And they definitely do not still use the caste system when they are not under inspection in their own country. Indians treat each other equally and treat everyone equally internationally. Maybe. Reason number 9, Indians abroad have the best public courtesy. What do I mean by this? They are always on the phone. This is number 1 rule in Western countries. You always have to be shouting loudly on the phone in public, okay? You in the car, on the phone. Australian law actually says that you're not allowed to touch your phone while driving, but it doesn't apply because they have good public courtesy. Or in the gym, as I mentioned previously. It's very kind of them to sit on the machine and hold it for me for 30 minutes on the phone. I appreciate that. On the bus, shouting on the phone. I appreciate the ambience, the noise. Thank you. In the shops, once again, the noise. I appreciate it, I really like going out in public and hearing you speak your language in public and shout your language on the phone in public rather than respecting Australian culture and being quiet. They never wear deodorant because they don't have to. They don't have to, guys. Reason number 1 and 2, if you hearken back, the cleanest country. The word soap isn't in their language like it is ours because they don't need it. Real. Generally rude to inferior Westerners, which you're supposed to be because we're lesser than you. Harken back to the caste system. Only Brahmins can travel, and us Westerners, we're below you. You're better than us, aren't you? That's why we value your degrees the same, and Indians can come over for bullshit reasons. And we owe you everything. Australia owes India and Britain owes India for colonialism or something. Reason number 10, please stay in India. If India is truly number one, why not stay? And if India is not number one, why not stay and improve it? Curious. I think this is a valid take. I think that is a valid take. Source, I made it all up. I reasoned it. I believe it, therefore it's true. And you know it's true. But it's also satire. This video is entirely satire and in no way reflects upon Indians as people, rather Australian government policy and Indian government policy. This is not a critique of any individual except Anthony Albanese.